stories coming in from the region. Of course, we did see Paida Black Angels, of course, going away to that is the team of Northern Gateway, and they had a very good sting. First time it was a nice one. They came through and played very well. So we shall be waiting to see what exactly comes through there as a headliner. Max Verstappen also had a very tight angle with that is Norris in the Formula One. Of course, one interesting one. Germany yesterday still failed to get, of course, their to break, of course, their unbeaten record, of course, in the Euros 2024. They still continue, but they have also failed to beat, that is Switzerland, of course, in their head-to-head. That's their third meeting, I should say, in national leagues or international leagues, but still they haven't done anything to see that they lose or win in there. So all those are some of the big stories are coming right there. Now let's start our story from home. My name is Owen Ezaga, your host right here, and the whistle time will be ending exactly 3 p.m. That's when I will be saying bye-bye right here. Before I get to some of the things, the playoffs of the FUFA, of course, FUFA playoffs also went on. Remember, yesterday, the FUFA Big League playoffs had a lot of things that probably also incited very many, including, of course, the regional leagues, where you did see also stories about the teams that have been in the region and here and there. Yesterday, Proline had, of course, an upper hand, won their game, yes, to make sure that it was 2-1. And they are looking forward to see who else now is the team that they will be facing right there. But if you look at the competition itself, you would see that the big league draws went on with exciting teams that probably tried to see that things work out for them. Now, with that, we also had our own team in West Nile, probably, I should say. That is Paida Black Angels, and a lot of people turned up for that game to go and see whether the Northerners would be pushing things in the other way. But this time around, Paida have done it because they went that side and played a draw. 0-0 all draw in the FUFA FUFA Big League playoffs meant very big for them, because they will now be waiting to see how things would mean for them, because the second round will be played at that is the home of Paida Black Angels. Do you know what I'm talking about? Barukoro Stadium, and that is this very coming weekend. It's going to be so exciting to see such, of course, moments go on for such a team, because Paida has had all what they needed. They have pushed everything possible to see that things work out. So we shall be waiting to see how that comes out. But all in all, what did they learn from this game is going to be very key for them, because one, that the team is a tight team. Two, Paida knows what it means when they come at home here at Barokoro Stadium. So we shall be expecting a tough game, and I'm seeing probably Paida making its move through to, that is the FUFA Big League, just like I kept saying this season, because they have done everything possible to see that it works out for them right there. So what do you think about that? We shall be waiting to see how that moves on rightly for, that is the team of Paida Black Angels. And elsewhere, if you leave that there, that means you cross over to still FUFA itself. Now, FUFA has organized what is called the FIFA football for school programs. That, of course, is ongoing right now at, of course, at the FUFA house. Yes, it had a lot of people, because in fact, at Njero, there were representatives, games teachers, sports teachers that went through for this training, and they are supposed to be there for purposes of learning and how to manage, of course, football in schools. We have seen very many times when the games are played in schools, there is always chaos after the game, and you see that it doesn't really go on well with parents, with teachers, and of course even some students get issues. We saw once where, of course, a student was killed just because of such a game. We saw where, of course, a student was deeply injured just because of chaos here and there. So those are some of the things. Hooliganism in schools have been one big word. But this time around, FIFA football for school program is ongoing in Uganda, and it started yesterday with a lot of things and a lot of schools that turned up. Now, my question was on how exactly these teams probably will be doing, because if you look at the man whom they sent from I mean, the people they sent from, that is FIFA, had everything to do, because the first vice president, Justus Mugisha, was one name that represented, of course, in there. The man by the names of Byamukama was also in that team. And then, of course, there are still more, like the FIFA chief member association officer. I'm talking about Kenny Hore Jean Maria also came through to explain a lot into that into what the program is. Not forgetting also, of course, more other names, the FIFA team that came to coordinate what is there. So now the aim is said to coordinate member associations to, that is the government, through education and sports, because that is one thing. I don't want, I think it would be helping a lot, because the scenario where you saw even the FUFA, not the FUFA, but the football president attacking the sports minister. And this was in Cameroon recently. We did see Samuel Eto'o saying that this is not exactly what he wanted. He has to make decisions as a football president in Cameroon. So indeed, such things are always a problem. So you don't need to interfere with the other one's work. And that is exactly what has been happening right through. So we're waiting to see how that would be. But of course, it should be noted that FUFA identified over 50 games teachers from, that is, 8 regions of FUFA to take part in, that is, the workshop at FUFA Technical Center in Njeru. As I talk right now, the games, of course, the games teachers, yes, had every other segment that they were taken through because they needed to push things in there. The trainings went on well, and of course the FIFA itself, FIFA experts came through to analyze, to show what exactly this means, and became, of course, certified trainers after the 3 days. So it's going to be a 3 days work at, that is, FUFA Technical Center in Njeru, and we are waiting to see how this is, because there's also that system that is being taught in, that is their own apps, the apps that come through for the FUFA. There's also a CAF A, of course, coaching course that takes a break after, of course, a successful completion of the first model, because if you look at what exactly is happening, you would see that this has been one of the key moments in there. And this time around, CAF A means that you're already in that limit, and it has other things that you can now have. Let's say you winning now what is called going to have a UEFA course later on. But of course, the first model of that is the CAF A diploma course, coaching course, successfully really came to that is the climax. That was on Friday, with, of course, participants breaking off again to see that they get in there. And the break will last 2 months, with, of course, participants having internships at their respective clubs to see that this goes in there. And since, of course, the 11th of the 11th, the participants, I'm talking about the coaches, have been, of course, undergoing one of the most interesting model, one which, of course, had both, of course, physical, practical, and then, of course, theoretical details of the person coaching style in their developing, of course, the philosophy, playing style, system and formation, match analysis, and of course a periodization. That has also been one key moment in there. And list of the participants, I want you to listen carefully and see whether you have any club member that is right there. Of course, in the closing remarks, we did say a lot of things, but some of the participants include Kadu Badru. Of course, he is a Buikwe Register FC in Uganda. He is the coach. Then there's Chesmira Arthur. Edgars FC is an academy in Uganda. Then there's Semfuma Mohammed, who is the coach of Marunza Football Club. And here in Uganda, you have Chiwanuka Paul, who is the head coach of UPDF. And then you have Muhumuza Fred, who is, of course, the Vipers, is a coach at Vipers. Ngabo Pius is a coach at UPDF. Then you have Luyinda John of Wachiso Giants, who also is one in the name. And then you have, of course, Ngabo Pius, Umar Abdallah. He is a coach of Malekia Sports Club in that is South Sudan. Then there's Brian Senyondo of Chitara Football Club. And then you have Michael Nam of Gor Mahia. He is, of course, a coach in Gor Mahia FC. And then, of course, Ojok Simon Peter of Maroons Football Club. What about Chikomeko Abe Bogere, who is, of course, for Bull FC. You not forgetting Mugerwa Simon Peter of Police Football Club. And then Momchilo Medic, of course, of that is Flemebiao du Center. That is in Burundi. Yeah, he comes from Burundi. He still came for this. Then there's Petros Kakoros, Chiyovu Sports Club in Rwanda. Petros, remember, he was also here at in Uganda at that is Sports Club Villa, if you can remember very well. He is also in this training. Then there's Alex Gita of Simba FC. What about Mukasa Robert of URA? Still also pursued in there. Not forgetting Kasule Richard, by the way, of URA. Alex, then there's Margaret Jackson Kadu of KCCA. Ayub Khalifa or Chiinji of Kawempe Muslims Ladies FC. Then there's Zungu Hassan of Busoga United. Then there's Dudu Bosco of NEC Football Club, Sally Tom of Saltillo Bright Stars, and Magoba Godfrey of course, UCU Lady Cardinals. Now, that's how exactly this team is, and they are doing everything possible to make sure that it works out for them in the way through to see how things move in there. But a lot is there. I'm impressed because we have two West Nilers, Umar Abdallah Lowy and Dudu Bosco, who have been also in this to make sure that things work the way that we expected them to push right there. So we shall be waiting to see how this moves and how they will be propelling with that is their coaching courses right there. Now, when we move away from there and cross over to some of the stories dropping right now, there's a campaign going on by that is Ismail Watemga, who has of course continued to transform homes or home area with of course in Mbale with the staggering generosity that he's doing in there. Something that of course is very good for a player like him, for any other public figure. As I talk right now, this player has done a lot. He is moving to homes and moving to hospitals, trying to do one thing. The Uganda Cranes goalkeeper Ismail Watenga, through his Ismail Watenga Foundation, made of course a memorable return back home by giving out to that is his people of Nakaloke in Mbale. He gave out things. I gave out soap. He gave out sanitary pads. He gave out books, and of course a lot of things that he has given out right there. So I think this is one thing that I would be saying, because the day climaxed, remember, yes, for him with a friendly match between that is Watenga Mbale and friends of that is Watega Kampala that came through to see that this needed to go well with him. But indeed, he showed the world what exactly needed to do. I believe this is one thing that you can do. Charity to that is the people who look unto you and think that you are a key person into this. So I think that is one of the actions that has also come to him. He is doing a lot to make sure that things that need to be put rightly is what he needs to put rightly. So that has really added in a lot. But what am I trying to bring? I'm saying, don't always use sports just for purposes of yourself. Think about the rest that you can also develop in there. So I think this is a good initiative. I'm waiting for West Nilers to also come through and see what comes right in there. Now, there's a big story coming in there. Remember, I did talk about Dezo Mukwala in the recent days about whether he would still be a player at Asante Katoke. And according to reports coming here, this man, of course, his contract was to end. And indeed, now the contract is done. So he has exited, that is Asante Katoke, ahead of the move to Simba, because Simba is said to be wanting this player to probably cross over to that is Simba FC in there. Now, Uganda Cranes, he had a good play for Uganda Cranes. So right now, what could he say? Mukwala announced his departure on, of course, this very day today via that is his social media platforms, saying that he has left the team right there. The Cranes striker is now expected to join Tanzania, according to that is the big moment coming there. Tanzania, the Giants of course Simba on a 3-year employment contract this transfer window. Before, of course, joining Asante Katoke, Mukwala has also previously had a moment, by the way, with the Edgar's Soccer Academy, not forgetting Viper Sports Club, Maroons Football Club, then lastly got GC Bumper at URA before, of course, he made that move away from URA Football Club and crossed over to that is Asante Katoke. Now, reports have it that he's pushing so much because that is Kola Otara and, of course, Nicholas Osea Bonsu and, of course, Isaac Obong, not forgetting, of course, Austin Nyompong, all right there, have expected to leave, of course, the team of Katoke, according to the report coming right here. What next? For him is just making his deal work out with that is the team of course, the team of Simba. Still elsewhere, I want to say Gombas Chimera, Kabuga. Yes, among some big names for the awards because there were awards that came out. Who else is to, of course, be the man Real Star Award right there? But a lot has come through because there were awards that came through, so we shall be waiting to see how these things work out. But when we leave that there, the Angolan duo, the names that have headlined right now the departure at KCCA. Who do you know about? I mean, how much do you know about this player? Yeah, how much do you know about these players? KCCA, of course, right now in a training session as I talk. All their staff and players are in a training session, which is going for a month. And, of course, very soon I think they are finishing with, of course, the 13 times Uganda Premier League champions to officially part ways with that is one, the Congolese striker, Simon, of course, Sungu Kakonde, and then Peter Luasa, not forgetting that is the Angolan, of course, Alson, Bruno and Carlos de Silva Gongulo Geo, who has been, of course, into the books of KCCA. As earlier reported by different, of course, websites in, that is the local papers right here, goalkeeper Derek Ochan will also not extend his contract to stay at, that is the club when, of course, his contract expires, which we talked about in lengthy, saying that this player is saying no, he is not going to be remaining at the team. So something that has also affected him. KCCA, that means they need to look for a goalkeeper to push in there. But Kakonde, who joined, of course, KCCA, the Kasasro boys on 2 years deal, will also be moving, will officially leave the club during the window. Remember, he joined KCCA in 2020. Now, of course, a 2-year deal from that is Kanaga province in Democratic Republic of Congo, where, of course, he previously played for as Diafin and Nioro de Goma. That's another team that he played for. But, of course, for Luasa, he will not be also have his employment contract, of course, extended after failing to, of course, please the club technical team yet again. He joined, of course, KCCA in January, if you remember, this year on a 6-month deal, and things are not working. Now, for that is the Angolan duo, I'm talking about Bruno and Gui. This will, of course, be a very nice one because they will be doing this on mutual consent to leave the club despite having, of course, a year left on their contracts right there each. Now, of course, these two joined, that is Lugogo Best side during, of course, the stewardship of Sergio Traguli, if you remember, and a lot of names like the striker Emmanuel Loki is also expected to be loaned out this transfer. The striker joined KCCA, and that is the start of the season. If you also remember very well, on a 2-year deal from Saltillo Bright Stars. So KCCA have already extended the employment contract for that is the goalkeeper Mutwabu, of course, Mugolofa. Yes, who has been one, and Ashraf Mugume. They have also boosted, of course, their squad with, of course, the exciting youngster of Stephen Munguchi and Shafika Nana Kirariza, who has been right there. So, striker Emmanuel Loki is expected to be loaned out to transfer. I think very many clubs should be taking this advantage because even if in big league, they should be taking this advantage because there are very few strikers to be added in the teams. And if you get yourself such a player who is able to make sure that he can cross over, then that's one big thing that you can do. And all in all, I want to say that this could be a very good addition into teams that would be coming through right there. Okay, when I leave that there, I come to Sports Club Villa. That is also looking forward to see that things work out for them because they have beaten the Sports Club Villa. Of course, I've added a tactician to their book. This time round, the tactician is, of course, one of the names, also a Serbian, by the way. Remember, Vipers President Lawrence Murindwa revealed last week during that is unveiling of Kovazovic that they were to add another assistant into their books and a video analyst. And that is the recommendation of the coach. But this was in the unveiling of their thing. But for that, as they keep waiting there, because Dusan Stonovic's assistant has already been announced. That is the team of cases of Sports Club Villa. Now, there's a man who is, of course, joining to see that things work out. He's a Serbian, of course, coach. And he's called Momcilo Medic. He has joined the team, Momcilo Medic. This guy has been one of the key names probably you could talk about because Medic has previously served ahead of different teams like Burundi's club like Flamebua, Decentro, and then Royal Eagles, and of course not forgetting Shakuma in South Africa, Messenger in Burundi, Dynamos in that is Zimbabwe, King Faisal, and of course Asante Gold in Ghana. You have also Royal Knights and Royal Sportiva in South Africa that he also managed, and not forgetting Ghana itself respectively. He also worked as assistant coach, by the way, at South Africa's Orlando Pirates also, and that is the capacity of an assistant coach right there. So Sports Club Villa will be a very big one, and they will return. I'm told they are going to be returning to training. Returned to training already last week. Ahead of that is their preparation for the forthcoming Sekafa Kagame Cup. Remember, they are the champions due in that is Zanzibar from July 6th to 2022 or 22nd of July. So they will be right there. So the coaches are a very big one. I think that's a good beef. Because as a coach, you can't do alone. You can't be one person doing everything. So adding in another name looks to be one key moment right for such a team or such a club who has ambitions to see what to do for them right here. But when we leave that there, there's also still another big one as Gor Mahia as a transfer for that is a transfer test for Dennis Omedi has also collapsed. And this is not because of anything. It's because Chitara thinks this is the time they should make money right about now. As I talk right now, Dennis Omedi won't now be joining, of course, that is Kenyan giant Gor Mahia. This transfer window due to that is Chitara's demand, which is very, very high. Reports from that is local papers like Sports Shift Sports indicates that the Ugandan Giants have really hiked the price. I'm told Chitara wanted 100,000 US dollars, while Gor Mahia were, of course, offering a 50,000 US dollars to see that that's working out. So the sources revealed that Chitara in negotiation with South African club over that is the transfer of Medi, who has also a year left on his contract. So that's a very, very interesting one for Medi, but I think hiking also prices is one big one because the player was keen on that is the move since he still has a year left on his contract without, of course, a release clause. So it was up to that is Chitara to accept or reject the offer from that is Gor Mahia. Now Omedi joined the team, of course, coached by Senyonjo. That is the start of last season, and indeed he has been very key, very phenomenal. He banked 14 goals, only behind KCCA's Mohamed Saban, who had 17, of course, in there So this means that he has every other thing to prove himself, and indeed he has. And he has helped the team, by the way, impressively, to clinch the Median Stanbic Uganda Cup, which also was a very big one after beating NEC Football Club in what is called the finals that were played at Mutesa 2 Nkululeko Stadium. Now, that means he has also a very better side over his story to see that he gets a better offer right there. So, that is why his impressive performance has called on to very many people to come through and look for him, because it has earned him a national team call up right there. And that pass that he gave to, that is Mo Shaban, to make him score that goal for, that is Uganda in the last qualifiers, was a very big one. That game against Botswana, he was very, very outstanding. He also came in for, that is against Algeria. It was also a very good one in there. Before, of course, joining Chitara, Omedi featured for Boma FC, and then, of course, finished as the FUFA Big League top scorer during 2022-2023 season with in that campaign with, of course, 22 goals that came through right there. So that is how this man has been progressing, and indeed a lot of things are happening. We shall wait and see how this would be. But national referees to dress uniformly is also one big one that is still trending, that they should always be dressing in a company uniform called Janzi, and that is it. So with that, we're taking a break. When we come back, I'll be giving you some of the international stories before probably we call it a day and see how things work out. But of course, there's a lot coming in from the world. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Sané, Griezmann, Lewandowski, and many more. Mbappe! Who is your European star? We are very familiar with all German stadia. Trust us to give you the best Euro experience affordably. Catch the matches live on NBS Sport, channel 255 on Antenna, or channel 199 on Dish Decoder on Star Times. We got your stars. This message is brought to you by StarTimes Solar. StarTimes Solar, more than just solar.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Time live on Yo TV. Of course, I'm talking about West Nile Television on channel 477 on the Start Time dish decoder. Wherever you're catching the show, it's still another beautiful one. But we are in the second stanza of what is called the Start Times. Of course, the Start Time FUFA Big League, the Uganda Premier League. But second stanza of the Whistle Time also continues right here now. Of course, a lot of things happening as teams are also looking forward to see that they need to get every other thing possible. Now, as we talk, it's all about the transfer that is moving on right about now. With the transfers, you will be seeing that a lot is expected because different schools, different teams, different clubs are looking for who else to get. Because for the schools, they are looking for who can come in and, of course, make their school name go higher. Because very many teams, by the way, suffered last in this first term this year. And then, of course, for clubs, they are looking into reinforcement to see that teams put things in the right angle. What else, of course, is coming? So a lot of things that are happening. But as we talk, Uganda Cup, of course, champions, Chitara Football Club are already in ways to see that they want to negotiate for, that is, an attacker. And Jibril Badru Nsimbe, formerly of UPDF, is the name they are talking about. Nsimbe is known for, of course, his physicality and aerial process that has come in there. Left, and of course, he left in there. UPDF following the he left UPDF following his expiration of his contract, and he's now waiting to see what exactly could be for him. Nzimbe's journey to UPDF began, of course, in 2022. When he was, of course, signed by, that is, Buganda Regional League side. I'm talking about Masaka City by coach Brian Senyondo. But he played 42 games, scoring, of course, 3 goals. His hard-working character made him, of course, a significant asset to, that is, the Army side, and he has been very, very good before, of course, his tenure with UPDF. So they are looking onto him as a replacement as we talk right now, but still UPDF want to side him right there. If you leave that there, now let's go to also another force side. I'm talking about Police Football Club of Rwanda this time round. Another Ugandan leaves Rwanda's Police FC this very, very time. Whom am I talking about? The former URA, and of course at the same time Chitara FC dynamic attacker Moses Seruide, who has also left, that is, Premise national Rwanda national team in there. So he's looking for what to do. And of course, Seruinde's departure comes after, of course, just one season with the Rwanda club, having joined this team from the side of the FUFA Big League champions Chitara. Despite, of course, his reputation as a talented playmaker, he struggled for playing time and often being named on the bench in most of the games. So he's, however, if you look at him, he has been so good because of one or two things in there. His time at Police did not really work out so much because he was not with highlights. He was without highlights that you could talk about. Seruinde leaves also the club with, of course, a trophy, having, of course, helped guide them in a 2-0 victory over, that is, Busegeri in Peace Cup that came through in the finals at, that is, Kigali Pele Stadium. So during the 2023-2024 season, of course, Police finished, if you remember, 7th on, that is, the position with, of course, 39 of course, points from 30 matches. So he joins Derek Ndahiro, who was unveiled by Vipers last week to have left Police. So things are not working well, and Uganda Premier League, given his creativity and proven track record, he could be adding something into the books of Ugandan League. So we're waiting to see how this goes on right through. Let me give you full how games went on yesterday in the big league before I cross over in their qualifiers. By the Black Angels were held a goalless draw by, that is, Northern Gateway in the first leg of the FUFA Big League promotion playoffs. The match saw, of course, both teams that came through and struggled, by the way, to break through the dreadlock. So I did say that they will be coming back to, that is now the home here, to see how things worked out. But in the other part, there was also a game between Ntunga Sazi with Proline Football Club, a game that ended 2-1. For that is Proline winning against Ntunga Sazi, as Busia played 1-1 all draw with Maida or Malaba Youth Development Association Football Club. That game ended in that way. On Sunday there was also a game, and Ntonda of course played against Buhimba Saints, a game that ended 0-0, and that's how things went on, as Apaida, I did tell you, already got in there. So we are waiting for return legs and see how things probably would be pushing up right through for such a moment right away. When we leave that there, let's go to some of the basketball and of course games in there. There was a game. Games were played yesterday, 23rd, with of course the team of JK Lady Jaguars playing against Kampala University, a game that ended 109 to 29. Of course, the Lady Jaguars had a very impressive performance against the Kampala University team right there, as KIU Rangers also beat team of course Nabisunsa, of course, by 100 nets to 35, and then UCU Lady Cardinals, Cannons had a very also good, impressive performance, though with a small goal margin of 50 to 38, but A Challengers couldn't really make things work in there. Now the JK Dolphins had a 76 over 81. That means Nam Blazers showed them a touch of how the basketball is being played, and that is exactly what happened. City Oilers were, of course, winners against Kampala Rockets, a game that ended 78 to 58 nets right there. Now, City Oilers defeat the Kampala Rockets with, of course, a decisive 78 to 55 that I'm talking about right about now. And this was that is the National Basketball League at the YMC grounds, of course, all YMC courts, you can say, right there. So this is one of the biggest thing that has also happened. But all in all, it is still moving on well. We are waiting to see how things can push to the best of its own. What story else is here? Now here, we could see Proline, by the way, come back to the FUFA Big League. That's also another one. You could be expecting to see how nice games shall be played at Kampala, because normally they use Lugogo grounds to play their games. So Sports Club Villa has also fallen out of some names that are coming in there. Villa is set to part ways with, of course, two players. One of them is Gavin Kizito and Patrick Jonah Kakande. And not forgetting, of course, in fact, three. And then there's Ronald Sechiganda, who, of course, has gone citing indiscipline issues. Yeah, Ronald Sechiganda is another one. He played very well in the Uganda Premier League, Uganda Cup. Not Uganda Cup even, for the national team, but now he is said to be parting ways due to indiscipline cases, and that is Villa that can be for you. So as I talked, the delayed payments has caused significant unrest within the team because they have not been paid. Of course, leading to that is the current standoff. Mandela has issued several warnings to players, but the situation still remains unsolved in there. With, of course, Gavin Kizito, who has been, of course, acting captain since Kenneth Semakula's departure, was, of course, instructed to also collect his release letter. Now, however, if you look at this, the process has been delayed as CEO William Nkemba is currently out of the country, but he will be coming back to issue this. Now, the trial amongst the club's key players from last season that haven't reported back to training. They have not reported for Friday. Sports Club Villa commenced training at that is the Crane High on Monday. Yeah, last week. With of course several new faces in the, including of course trialists, but still things are going in there. The development comes with another interesting moment because Villa is a big team. Villa winning at that moment was not by surprise. They tried setting up their team very, very well, and they are waiting for how this can be. So I believe it's a good one. That's always a good gesture. I love what I see from Villa. They're serious. It's not about you winning. You will never be ahead of a club. The club is always going to be ahead of you. So give respect to every club that gives you that chance. So it's a good one to me. Right now in Bull, there's that guy called Ibrahim Mugulusi. He has also signed a new 2 years contract with Bull, and he will still be a Bull player according to the reports coming right there. Now let's go some international stories and see what exactly we are talking about right about now. Internationally, I want us to start with what is called the Formula One, where of course Alf has also joined the race to secure Carlos Sainz for that is 2024, because Alf has been expectedly looking into what to do and surfaced as of course a potential new Formula One team for that is Carlos Sainz. Remember, they are looking to see who is that person who can join the Ferrari team in the short to depart Ferrari driver, who is also now almost ready to choose between of course Williams and Audi Sauber for that is the next move. So they are looking forward to see who is that. But Mercedes CEO says eyes at that is Max Verstappen for a silver future, according to what he is saying here, because Max Verstappen, he has been so dominant, as of course what is happening looks to be one of the most interesting moment. Let's look at the breaking news this very afternoon as I talk. Arsenal announced new contract for that is the delighted 22-year-old goalkeeper, and that is Carl Hennen, who has of course signed a new contract with the club according to the reports right there. So the trending right now at Arsenal is that they have signed a new contract with this player. Of course, David Raya, who has been on loan. Aaron Ramsdale has also been right there, but in case of anything, they are looking to see that this works out for them right through out the moment to see that he remains the man to talk about. So it's a very, very big one. But here, there are also 5 ways that people are battling, clubs are battling for. This is, yes, Joshua Kimmich. According to reports now, during his 9th time with the Allianz Arena, I'm talking about the team of Bayern Munich, there are already clubs showing interest, including Manchester City, Arsenal, Florian Plettenberg, and the journalist did report 5 clubs. Yes, Man City, there's Arsenal, there's Real Madrid, there's Barcelona, all looking forward to see that they need this player by the names of Joshua Kimmich. So we're waiting to see how Joshua Kimmich would be probably delivering right there, but can he put something, work out for this moment? That is the question that we shall be waiting at. Now today, there was also a story about Manchester United, who of course want the man by the names of Alvaro Morata to come into the team, because Alvaro Morata, as I talk right now, is doing very well for his country, that is Spain, and United are still in the options of looking for a striker, but their striker is one name they have talked about, Alvaro Morata, but I think due to age it may not work out right there. The same United yesterday talked about 2 players from Sporting Lisbon that they feel they need to bring into the team because of one thing, that is one, Goncalo Inacio, who has been linked with the move in there, and then Morten Holmand, who plays, of course, his trade also very well for his team Denmark. Of course, that is where they are. But the 2 play their trade for the club called Sporting Lisbon. They want to see them in there. So Sporting Lisbon are the teams that we are talking about. And the reports claim that the double could move and cost Manchester United 118.4 million to see that this team comes through right there. So we're waiting to see what they want, because they want both. That is Inacho and of course Højlund. Jolman is a good player, of course, in the midfield, and they're looking into how he can be really a very good one, because he grew up from there. But Inacio is also very good in that defense line, so they want to bring these players. Impressive midfielder to talk about. He is very impressive in that is for the team of Højlund, for Denmark, and we saw that pass he gave to Højlund in the recent game that they played. But of course, outstanding. He was also the man who scored in there for the team. Very good, very impressive, and we are looking to see what exactly he will be doing right for the days to come. So Manchester United talking about him, and not forgetting Olise on move this time round, because he will be moving. Bayern Munich wants him. Probably he could be the man to see that he gets in there, because Crystal Palace are ready. Chelsea has failed out. So the team of Bayern Munich looks to be one big one to talk about right here. As also Euro is still another new name that is being linked with United, but of course the team of also Real Madrid are talking about him so much right through. If you look at what else is happening, I don't see much, because there's Inter Miami that is also looking into the former Manchester United player. I'm talking about Rafael Varane. They want him into the team of Manchester United. Now today, there are going to be a couple of games coming through, as Albania will be taking on Spain at 10 p.m. whereas you will also see Croatia taking on Italy at 10 p.m. Already Copa America got done this early morning, where of course you did see the team of Ukraine beating Panama by 3-1, and then of course Colombia against Paraguay is also another one that has gone very, very well. To see that Colombia is coming, in fact, is going to be playing right today. So those are some of the games that are coming right there, and all that I had for you today has been rounded up in the world of that is Whistle Time right today. I want to say have a very blessed day. But up next will be the movie coming here with all you need to know, courtesy of sports. Don't touch your dial. A very good afternoon.